Hello all, this is the packing video for Israel for 2022 for the June trip. Now, I will also be adding some things for the fall trip for 2022 as well, just some things to add on to the top of it, but basic packing here for June of 2022. And we can plan on it being pretty hot while we're there in Israel. Now, something we want to think about is that the temperatures there will probably not get below 90 degrees for our high temperature, and may get up as high as 115 or so for those days that we're around the Sea of Galilee and down in the Dead Sea region as well. Temperatures at night though can get down into the 70s, maybe even to the 60s when we're in Jerusalem in particular. So you may want to have a light jacket or something like that to add on top of what I've got for you here. But I thought for today I would start with kind of the inside out, and I'm going to start with what we would normally take on the bus with us, kind of our day pack. And this is what I recommend to you as something along this size for your day pack, okay? So several things that I think are important about this, especially for the June trip, is that you want to have a hydration pack in here. So you want to have the hydration bladder, which looks like this, which you can fill up with water each morning, or maybe even put it in the freezer overnight, partway filled, so that you'll have it cool in the morning, and then fill it the rest of the way with water. This will go then in the back part of here, and when you get a hydration pack, you definitely want one that is going to isolate anything from getting wet. So it will often have a waterproof pouch in the back here that will keep then your notebooks and Bible and all those kinds of things from getting wet. That then snaps into this part here, which is your straw, your drinking straw, and then you drink from this as it's on your back during the day. That is essential for our June trip. You definitely don't want to be without water while you're there. Some other things that I take with me on that day pack for each day that on and off the bus and when we're walking around in Jerusalem, definitely you need your Israel notebook. You will already have this with you when you take off here from California. I'll get that into your hands. Something that you will use everywhere that you're going. It has maps and charts and notes for each place that we'll go in it. So that will go into your pack as well, along with your, well, I've got Journey with Jesus to Israel. You won't need this in your daily pack. What you will need is Kramer, but I didn't have Kramer with me here when I did this video. But you'll want to have Kramer when God came down as part of your daily pack. I also want to have a pen for marking in your notebook, so have that in there. I also always carry with me my wallet, which has my phone in it, and credit cards. Now, if you have separate credit cards and like a wallet for your credit cards and your phone, that's quite all right. I like the compact nature of this, and I will usually put that in my pocket, not necessarily in my pack. But that's also for taking pictures. So your phone is very important each day to have with you to take pictures and keep that with you in your pack or in your pocket. I also told you for each day you're going to want to have $25 per person per day of cash with you. Now, when we're in Jerusalem, it might be more possible to use cards at the places where we stop to eat, and some of the places, other places might have the ability to take credit cards, but I always don't want to count on that. I want to have cash with me, whether that's American cash and or shekels. I do want to have that available. Again, $25 per person per day for lunch and snacks and waters along the way you want to have with you in your day pack. I also take with me, besides my hydration pack with about 2.5 liters of water in it, I also take with me an extra bottle like this that I fill with water in the morning. And then I also take along at least one of these packets of, well, I use Liquid IV. You can also use Gatorade or something like that that would have electrolytes in it to put in your water in the morning and make sure that you're staying hydrated too. So I'll take that and put that right in the side pocket here of my day pack, and some point in the day I will drink a hydration pack in there with that, okay? So Gatorade, Liquid IV, one of those I would recommend to you. You'll also want to have your package of flushable wipes that you put in your day pack with you. Never know when you're going to need that for washing your hands or when you're in the restroom, something like that. Can't always count on there being toilet paper. I think it almost always happens, but I like to be prepared in case.
Something went wrong. Please try again.
And the second thing that I would also say that you definitely want to have with you is a battery pack. So this will help charge your phone in case you didn't charge it enough overnight or it's running low on battery. So this is an external battery pack. So you plug your phone or your camera or whatever it is into that to keep it charged during the day. So I put that in my day pack. I also like to have some snacks. I usually bring with me something like this. This is trail mix, just little packets of trail mix. Maybe some M&Ms, some other kind of snacks that you want to take with you just for a little bit of energy along the way. Another absolute essential for a June trip in particular is a hat, and I like to have one. Now, I don't often wear hats, it's not one of my favorite things to do, but in Israel it's a necessity, okay? So I definitely recommend that. I like the broad brimmed ones too, because that keeps the sun off your face and off the back of your neck to keep you from getting burned, hopefully, and to keep you cool during the day too. Ones like this too, you can also get wet, put it on your head and it'll help cool you down, so definitely keep that. Also sunglasses, you're going to want to have that everywhere, those everywhere that you go as well. A money belt is something that I don't always wear, but sometimes wear. Maybe in Jerusalem when we're doing souvenir shopping, certainly on the plane I wear that. And it just wears underneath your clothes here, gives a very convenient place for your passport, which I have in here already. You definitely want to have your passport. Now, you don't need to have your passport with you every day when you're off the bus. I recommend leaving it in the hotel safe, except when we're going to be leaving that hotel. And then you have to make sure that you grab your passport when you leave the hotel, and your money that you might have left in the safe in the hotel room overnight. Make sure that you grab that and remind your roommate to grab theirs as well. Okay, so I'll keep that, and I'll keep currency. I like this one because it has a couple of different places. I can put American cash in one section, I can put Israeli shekels in another section, and then I'm good to go. Just grab that, make sure that that's in my pack or around my waist as well. You'll definitely also want to have a Bible with you. Now, this one is a little bit too small for me. This is actually my wife's travel Bible, but I do like the size of it. The problem is I can't read it. The font is too small. So the trick is finding a Bible that it has a big enough font that you can read, but is also small enough that you can carry around with you. And you definitely want to have both an Old Testament and a New Testament. So don't just grab a New Testament, because we'll be referring to the Old Testament quite a bit as well. So have a Bible with you everywhere that we go, because we'll be reading that frequently. Okay, so that's what I generally take in my day pack, and that's about all that you need, except for, of course, your rubber ducky. Never know when you're going to need a rubber ducky, so I put him right there in my pack as well. Okay, so this pack I then put into my carry-on bag, and I just want to show you a little bit about carry-on bag, but we'll get to that a little bit later. Now I want to talk with you about your check-in bag, and I've got mine right here, be right back, and this is the size of it here, and I want to show you kind of how I organize that. Again, this is your check-in bag. And you are allowed to have one check-in bag that's, I think it's 50 pounds or less. I'll take some of this stuff out, kind of redundant. But I like one this size. I like one that rolls, and you'll see it has wheels on this side. You can see inside looks like this. And the way that I'll pack that, I'll show you here in just a moment. So it's fairly small. In fact, I think I could get away with this being a carry-on bag as well, but this is the one that I check. Okay, and I pack in such a way, let me show you how it goes about in the inside. I pack in such a way that I don't need that every single day. In fact, there will be days when I get off the bus and I leave that underneath the bus, and I just take with me my carry-on, which I will get to here in just a minute. And the way that I pack is that I use these little packing cubes. This is personal preference. You can use these, you don't have to. Because I travel a lot as both missions pastor and going to Israel and other things, I found that it's very useful to invest in these kinds of things. But if you're only traveling one time to Israel, it might not be something that you use all the time, something you may not need to invest in. I like this size. It's 14 inches long, about 3 inches deep, and about 4 inches wide. And the reason I like that is because it's exactly the width of the inside of my carry-on bag and of my check-in bag. And so I can fit them in, and I'll show you how that fits after I get one packed for you. What do I do with these? Well, each day I'll put in one pair of shorts, roll them up nicely like that, stick that in here. One shirt, I also rolled up nicely, put in like that. I've got one pair of underwear and a pair of socks for each day, okay? And so I zip these guys up in here real quick like. And then in the morning, when I get up, I just take with me into the bathroom just this little packing cube and my toiletries, which is in a separate bag. I'll show you here in just a minute, okay? And then it comes to this size, just like that. So I can just grab it out of my suitcase in the morning, take it with me into the bathroom, and that's got all of my clothes for the day. I don't pack a pair of shorts for every day of the trip. I generally pack about 3 or 4 pairs of shorts and 2 to 3 pairs of long pants. And so that's enough for use twice during the trip, right? It's a 14-day trip, 13-day, 14-day trip, including travel. And so it's enough for twice in terms of shorts and pants, okay? I do pack a shirt for every day of the trip because I like to have a nice, clean, fresh shirt every day, and certainly underwear and socks. Now, some people will say, well, pack for half the trip, and you can do laundry in the sink if you want to when you get to Jerusalem. Certainly works. I've done that before. I enjoy that. It's easy. You can do the washing right there in the sink and then hang it up in the bathroom there, and it will dry fast enough, especially in June, for it to be ready to go for the rest of your trip. This trip, however, I'm just doing it a little bit more in a lazy way, as a matter of fact, so that I have something for each and every day, and then I don't have to worry about doing laundry. You can also pay the hotel to do your laundry for you, and they will charge either by the pound or by the item. How many, like if it's by socks or underwear or shirt, whatever, how many of those you have, they will charge. Now, it's not cheap. Especially in Jerusalem. There is one place along the way that we sometimes go to that's a kibbutz, and they will do it for fairly cheap, but if you're waiting till you get to Jerusalem, you take it down to the hotel to have them do it, it's going to be fairly expensive to have them do it that way. It might be worth it to you, but it might not. The other thing you want to consider, though, is that you want to have room for your souvenirs to go back with you. So some people pack in such a way that they have the laundry to do halfway through, or they want to throw out some of the clothes that they bring with them. So they'll kind of eliminate some of the socks, underwear, shirts along the way. Just say, I'm never going to use that again, I'll just throw it away. And that then leaves them some room in their suitcase for the souvenirs to go back with them. Okay, so what that looks like then, once I get fully packed, and I haven't done that quite yet, but let me show you when I get to that. So when I do finally get my suitcase completely packed, this is what it looks like. Let me show you. Okay, so it has, well, this isn't completely packed, this is halfway packed. So it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days worth of clothes in it. I'll put another layer exactly like that. So it's going to go in here as well. So then that's 6 days worth, and that would be full all the way across, 12 days worth of clothes. And then I can zip that up, and I have no worries about being unorganized in there, trying to find another pair of pants or shirts or whatever. I just get up in the morning, grab it, go into the bathroom, and I'm ready to go with that each morning, okay? What else can I tell you about that? So that's my check-in bag. Oh, the other thing that I do is once I've emptied this of the clean clothes in the morning, I then put the dirty clothes back in the same one, and then put it back on the bottom of the suitcase, and then I'm done packing to go home too. All the dirty clothes are in there, packed away, separated from one another. It's really super easy to do that then, okay? There are some extras that you will need as well when we go through those. Things you won't need every day, but for several days on the trip. Okay, first some things you will need every day, then I go over my toiletries with you. So every hotel that we go to has shampoo, has body wash in it. You may or may not like that. Maybe you have your own kind of shampoo or body wash that you use. For me, it works perfectly. I don't ever bring those things with me. However, you won't have there. The deodorant won't be provided, so definitely bring that. I bring a disposable razor that I'm only using on the trip. I bring certainly shaving cream. I like to get the smaller size, either shaving cream or shave gel, and I'll use that for the trip, and then when I'm done with it, it gets thrown in the trash the last day of the trip there. I also get a small thing of toothpaste, travel size, because that's all I need for a couple of weeks. In fact, more than I need for a couple of weeks. I usually take a toothbrush that I'm about done with, and I can throw that away at the end of the time too. Definitely take with me some pain reliever. Now, Advil, Tylenol, whichever you prefer, but I'll get some for the daytime, and also get some of that PM stuff that has some sleeping aid in it as well, and I'll bring that along with me, both daytime and nighttime Advil. I also bring along actually a small bottle like this. I'll take some antacids and just put a few of those in there. You never know when you're traveling what's going to upset your stomach, maybe something you're not used to eating, whatever. It is nice to have some antacids along with you. I also, yeah, that's basically it. That's just more. So allergy medicine as well. So if you have seasonal allergies, good to have that along with you too. You'll find some things that you're allergic to in Israel too. I also do bring along a little small packet of so detergent for laundry. This is a hand washing detergent. Again, this will work in the sink. Again, if I run out of shirts or I want to reuse some shirts, maybe I've gone through 2 shirts in a day or something like that, this is really handy then to use as clothes washing in your sink in your hotel room as well. So I'll bring 1 or 2 of those along with me just in case. Okay, so all that goes in my toiletry bag. I also have a small first aid kit that I'll take in my day pack each day too. Mostly it's Band-Aids, but maybe antiseptic cream or something like that too, in case you get blisters or you get a small cut or something like that. It's nice to have that just to give you a little bit of relief. Okay. Let me talk about some other things that are well, semi-essential. For a June trip, I guess this would go to the level of essential. It's sunscreen. You definitely want to have, and I won't take a bottle this big with me. I'll have a smaller bottle, but I do think it's important to have some sunscreen to keep you protected from the sun so you don't get burned along the way. I also like to really put as many things as I can in Ziploc bags. Okay, so the reason I do that with sunscreen, of course, is you never know when that bottle's going to get crushed or something. You don't want sunscreen all over your clothes, all over your backpack, or whatever it might be, your notebook, those kinds of things. So I put it in a Ziploc bag to keep it isolated from everything else. I might even do that with my shaving cream and other things too. But it's good to have some Ziploc bags, even good sized ones, with you for the trip too, in case something gets wet and you still want to put it back in your suitcase. What might get wet? Well, for instance, your swimsuit, which is also an essential for the trip because we're going to have several opportunities to get wet. Certainly at the Sea of Galilee, we'll be able to swim around there, maybe even get baptized in the Sea of Galilee if you'd like to do that. But also the Dead Sea. You'll definitely want a swimsuit for going down into the Dead Sea. That's an experience you really need to try at least once. So you definitely bring a swimsuit along for that. And then you're going to want to put that into a bag. Again, maybe this or maybe a Ziploc bag that you can then roll up tight and keep so that everything else in your suitcase doesn't get wet because of being in the water like that. Okay. So bring along a few plastic bags, certainly a swimsuit too. Something else I like to take is a cord organizer. So you'll have several cords for things that you'll be using to recharge, maybe your phone, maybe your camera, maybe your watch, other things you might want to charge as well. So I bring along this cord organizer, and I can put several different cords in there, or SD cards for my camera as well. They'll fit in here. This just keeps them well organized. I also like having one that has an orange or some kind of vibrant color on it so that I don't leave this behind in a hotel room, right? When you're scanning the room to see if you left anything, this one sticks out because it has a little bit of orange around the outside, but it helps me to remember to not leave it in my hotel room. You'll also want, and not want to lose, an adapter, right? So this one has a 3-prong adapter for the Israel outlets. Sometimes you'll see the 2-prong adapters also, those do work. I like this one because it has a way to plug in an American plug this side, but it also has 2 USB ports on it. So I can plug a USB cord into it to charge my phone, again my watch, my camera. That's simple and easy. Just plug a nice long cord into it. In fact, let me show you, I tend to get very long USB cords because you never know where they're going to put the outlet in the hotel room. And if you want to have access to it, it's nice to have a nice long cord like this. I also take along with me, I didn't bring it to show you, but I take along an extension cord that has, it's like a, what do they call it, like a power strip that has several USB ports on it as well, so I can plug a number of different cords into that too. So it's important to have those things to stay organized. All right. Also, you'll need a headlamp or a flashlight to take with you into places like Hezekiah's Tunnel. I also find it nice if I have a roommate and I don't want to wake them up, but I need to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night to have a flashlight that's handy so that I don't have to turn on the light to find my way to the bathroom in an unfamiliar place. So it is handy to have a flashlight and have that in a place where you can easily access it. You also want to have batteries for your light too. So make sure if it takes batteries or if it's a rechargeable one, whatever, make sure you have what you need to keep it working. Okay. So let me show you my carry-on here real quick. I like this size carry-on. It's the kind that fits, I mean, it's basically built to put into the overhead or underneath the seat in front of you. So I use this one for day trips. If I go someplace for a weekend, I'll use it for that as well. I like this one because it has a few pockets on the front where you can put things that you need easy access to. It also has backpack straps on the back, so you can wear this one on your back as you're traveling through the airport. It also, though, allows you to take these straps off, so like this, and then they fold back into the back of the backpack too. So if you want to get rid of the straps, you can do it that way so they're not catching on things. I also like ones that have, things are leaking out of here, that have handles on multiple sides. This one has one on the top here, it has one on the bottom as well, right here, or the top here, okay? And so it has one on the front. Okay, so there's all kinds of ways to pick this thing up, and I really enjoy that kind. Again, this is about all I need for traveling on a 3 or 4 day trip. And what I put in there, well, this is one of the pillows, a neck pillow for travel. For me, you guys, I've never found one that actually makes it possible for me to sleep, but I'm going to keep experimenting, so I have a brand new one to try on this particular trip. So this is a new experiment. We'll see if this one works. I doubt it, but I'm going to keep trying until I find something that maybe helps me fall asleep on an airplane. Another thing that I put then on my carry-on, okay, so you're allowed to have a carry-on and a personal item. And so this is actually both of these for me. I will take a carry-on right here, and my personal item will be my backpack. On my flight, then I'll make sure I have snacks in here. I'll have books that I want to read. My iPad will go in here. Any batteries, rechargeable batteries, they're not allowed to go into your checked-in bag. They must be on a carry-on bag, and so I'll put those in here as well. I'll put my earphones in here for listening to or watching a movie, or for listening to music, or a sermon or something like that on the plane. Okay, so that will go with me on the plane as well. Something to read usually, and like I said, my iPad will go on there too. But then when I'm just checking, when I'm going to the airport, actually, I'll just have 2 bags that I'm carrying. I'll have the checked-in bag until I check it, and then I'll have this carry-on, and the carry-on will include in it my personal items. So I'll fold it over like this, and that way I can just carry one thing through the airport. When I get to the gate, then I'll pull out my personal item and make sure that it's stocked with everything that I'll actually need on the flight, and then I can put this one in the overhead container, overhead bin, and not really worry about it the rest of the way. Okay, until I get to my next destination. In my carry-on then, because I don't completely trust that my checked bag will make it all the way to my destination. I've had people lose luggage along the way. I just don't want to be without clothes for the first few days of the trip if my suitcase gets lost or delayed in getting to me. So I'll bring 3 days worth of clothes, again, in these packing cubes, into my carry-on, so that I have 3 days worth of clothes when I get to Israel. And again, if an emergency, if my carry-on, my checked-in bag never arrives, I'll have basically everything that I need anyway for the trip. So I'll make sure that one of these has, 2 of them have shorts, one of them will have long pants too, because I don't want to be without a pair of long pants for the whole trip to Israel. Okay, so that's what this looks like. Show you the inside of that. Again, 3 packing cubes, got my neck pillow in there, and anything else that I think I can't do without while I'm in there, in Israel. So that goes in that backpack, okay? I think that is pretty well it for this video. I just wanted to introduce you to those things that I think are important for packing for Israel. You will want a light jacket. I take a very light sweatshirt type thing. I think it's right here, actually. Yep. So I'll take this with me. And this is just, again, for if I'm going to walk up early in the morning in Jerusalem, or in the evening, it's nice to have a light jacket just in case. Even in June, sometimes it can get, I'm not going to say cold, it gets cooler in the evening. Okay, so I'll definitely take that along with me too. All right, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to email me or call me. Happy to give you more tips on packing, but that's basically what I think we'll do for you for Israel for 2022. Thanks, guys.